Tommy Rex, and you're listening to today's Boondoggle.
This is Mark Metcalf, and you are listening to today's Boondoggle with Bailey on Domain Cleveland Radio.
You are listening to today's Boondoggle with Bailey on Domain Cleveland Radio. Yes, Kato Kalin listens to this all the time.
Welcome to today's Boondoggle. Now, here's your host.
What's going on, everybody? It's Bill Bailey with today's Boondoggle. I'm up here in the corner square, and I'm talking with every single freaking member of Fault of the People. What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Howdy.
Hey, pretty good. How are you?
Good. I'm glad we got all the technical difficulties figured out, and yeah, it's always fun to have all the squares filled, because you know. I learned so much about everybody, especially from you know, that state up north, you know, that we don't mention here from Ohio, you know. But anyway, usually when I have people on for the first time, I like to go way back. So we'll start ladies first. What did you originally want to be when you grew up?
I kind of always knew I wanted to be in a band for the most part, but I dabbled in a couple other things, different ideas and whatnot.
What were those dabbles?
Well, one was like hair, one was different styles of art, like painting or whatever, crafting. Yeah, anything fun.
What about you, Emily?
Well, if we go way back to like elementary, I would say I always wanted to be either a mom or my mom was also a singer. So those were like the two things that I always wanted to be.
Nice. And how about you, Stina?
Well, I have a funny answer for you. As a little kid, my dad was and still is my hero. So when I was a kid, I wanted to be a dad and a construction worker just like him. Neither of those things are ever going to happen, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, good though. I'm glad. You know, I have two daughters too. I don't want them to be anything like me either.
You still have time to be a dad.
Well, yeah, that too. But how about you, Joe?
I can remember as far back wanting to be a police officer of all things, and I did it for a little while, and it wasn't for me.
Nice, gotcha. How about you, Richard?
I guess when I was a little kid, I wanted to be an astronaut, but I found out what black holes were, and I thought they were going to be a way bigger problem than what they really are.
Yeah, that old Disney movie will freak you out, man. You go
Yeah.
back and watch that one, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of like the quicksand of space. It felt like there's going to be everywhere, and it was a problem for everybody. So, yeah.
And now Joe gets to beat on things without, like, you know, worrying about lawsuits and, you know, the union having to back you up, right?
Yeah. Definitely one way of looking at it.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm a little slow with my lines, but I thought of it and I couldn't let it go. Anyway, now going back to Lexi, we'll start with you. When do you recall like hearing music in your home, and what was like some of the first, you know, songs and music you heard?
Actually, when I was growing up, I grew up listening to my dad. He was a musician for pretty much all of my life. And then, I mean, he's my drummer, so he's in the band now. You can see how far that went. Sorry, I'm spacing. Can you ask me the question again?
No, just like some of the earliest music you heard around the house.
Oh, yeah. My dad,
looking like you listened to some pretty good music growing up, huh?
I listened to all kinds of stuff growing up. I can't even tell you what? I'm sorry.
All right. What about you, Emily?
In my house, growing up, it was a lot of No Doubt, Shania Twain, a good mix of genres here.
And then you, Stina?
I would say classic rock, but I think that classic rock is now like ancient rock. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is anymore. So lots of 70s, 80s rock, and then 90s country in my household for sure.
Nice. All right. Now Joe's going to have the story for Lexi as well. Tell me, Joe, what were you listening? Well, yours was different, I'm sure, back that time, but then you can kind of also say what you've been listening to.
Yeah, I had initially grown up listening to probably a lot of bluegrass and country and southern rock. Honestly, I can remember one of the biggest impacting songs to me when I was a kid was Dire Straits, "Money for Nothing." I thought that.
Oh yeah,
that just hit in a way, and I can recall that also being called devil music, and I wasn't allowed to listen to it. But, yeah, as far as Lexi, she was Veil of Maya-ish, very Veil of Maya-ish as a kid. She loved Veil of Maya. Mushroom Head, I mean, the bands that were really popping in the early 2000s for metal was a lot of what got listened to.
Nice. How about you, Richard?
Oh man, I feel like mine's gonna be weird. I guess when I was younger, it was a lot of I listened to a lot of rap and like Backstreet Boys and stuff like that, like boy bands, until I started playing guitar and then found Ozzy and Led Zeppelin and all that, and kind of went a different way from there.
Now, is this like everybody? Well, probably not Joe's, but and I'm guessing maybe Richard too. But is this everybody else's first band that you've played in? No,
not mine or Christina's. We've been in and out of bands together most of the time since we were in high school. I mean, I've been in and out of bands since late middle school, but we really kind of dove in high school and just have kept going.
And I know you're thinking, wow, they probably just graduated. I just wanted to add that.
and what, like, for everybody, like, did you all, I mean, I know you're all like kind of in the same scene now, but did you all grow up around the same music scene? I guess whoever.
No, again, Christine and I are from like the same area, but everybody else is kind of spread out a little bit more.
I'm the youngest of the bunch, so I got a lot of different genre there, or generation music, I suppose. But I listen to a lot of the same that Richard kind of listened to as well, which would be like, what are they called? A Day to Remember.
And then when you guys like let's talk about when Fault of the People came together. Like, who's responsible for all this? Whose fault is it?
So Christina, Emily, and I branched out from a different band. Kind of the three of us went one way, the other three went the other way. They're still kind of doing their thing around Battle Creek. But from there, we started this and kind of had like a slow momentum to begin with until we found Lexi and Joe. And then from there, everything kind of went from slightly going up to straight up.
Nice. And I'm curious about, I know, like, you know, all the band names are taken these days, but like, what inspired you guys picking this name?
So I've been in a bunch of projects that never made it out of the basement. This is the first band I've ever played with that actually did shows and stuff like that. And I just had a list of potential names at the time when we branched out, and I just kind of brought those up, and this is the one that stuck.
I like it. It kind of sums up the today's society, I guess, too. You know, a lot of shit going down. It's their fault. Damn it. Or like what we're told, like if it's not my team, it's your team's fault. You know, all that circus that we're living through right now.
That is a very common question we get asked: is whose fault is it?
And that's up for interpretation.
Yeah,
Nice.
I usually just tell whoever it is it's their fault.
And then let's talk about like you guys get together, you start playing out. What's the scene like in the area where you guys have been playing?
We've had the privilege of working with a lot of different bands throughout the area. I know in Michigan alone, one of the bands that we're kind of seen with a lot is Fleeting Life. They're really good. We love them. But yeah, there's a lot of good bands coming out of Michigan, kind of spread out all through Michigan.
Now I'm bad with locations and stuff, but like Battle Creek is, I mean, that's basically the big city where you guys are from mostly. Okay. It's down that way. All right.
We're actually all from really small towns, but you kind of just say you're from the biggest town nearby. So
Yeah. Like, I mean, I live in Brook Park, but I'll say Cleveland because it's right next door. But so like Battle Creek, Southern Michigan, you guys make it up to like Detroit area for shows?
I think we played in that area, like I think it was called Rosemont or Roseville, which is close to the Detroit area. But we're looking to get out that way. We got a couple bands that live toward that area that we could probably be like, hey.
we play a lot in Ohio, believe it or not. So we're there quite a bit in different parts of Ohio and northern Indiana.
I saw that you guys got some dates coming up, but have you guys played Cleveland?
No, we played close to Cleveland, but we actually shot our music video in Cleveland.
Oh
at the
yeah,
Unhinged Studios.
did a Puppet
Mhm.
that one? Really? Okay, cool. Where was that at?
At the Unhinged Studios in Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay, yeah, I think I'm familiar with that. Now, I want to ask about Puppet because I like what I'm hearing, but explain to me like the inspiration or the message in the song.
So the message really it follows like a theme of going into a relationship and being kind of blindsided by control, and then as you're going through the relationship, you're realizing how much this control is taking over, and by the end, you just want to like cut those ties, break free from that, and escape. Really.
Wow, you just summed up my morning. I got my youngest daughter like literally just broke up with her boyfriend, and I went over there to help her move out, you know. Yeah, it sounded like that's what she's been dealing with. I'll have to send her Puppet. Maybe it'll be therapeutic for her. I don't know.
She can rage scream to it.
Yeah. It's the ups and downs of being a girl dad, gotta, watch out for those creeps out there. And some of them can fool you at first. This one was a used car salesman, so he kind of sold himself to me a little bit. Thought he was
He knew the ways, like a puppet master.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's the intro of the song. The first verse is all about how the relationship was so great and wonderful in the beginning, and then it just progresses.
Yeah. Now I was reading you guys have like a 5-song EP that you're working on.
Yeah, we went in January to the Hell Here Studios out of New York with Robbie Litchfield, and we reconstructed 5 whole songs, got them wrote and finished, and we're looking to drop those as the year goes on, kind of giving each song its own light.
What was your experience like working with Robbie?
It was incredible. We got like, I don't know, there's different ways that he would tell us how we needed to go about doing something and kind of like show us, and then we'd present so many different ideas. It was so much back and forth, and he was kind of like part of the band when we were there, so he would tell us if some of those ideas, like if they sucked or not, but he kept it real, and the whole time we were there, we were just writing incredible stuff, and every minute was worth it.
Now let me ask you too, who influenced you to do singing?
So I obviously I'd heard all of like the dudes and whatnot, and I always thought that was cool. But it really wasn't until 2021, and I heard Courtney LaPlante from Spirit Box, and my dad was like, "Well, you should give like Ginger a listen." And so I'd listen to them, and I was going back and forth, and it was during that time I had realized I think I could do that, and so I just kind of started doing it.
Yeah, I mean, those are definitely good influences. I love seeing them live. I just imagine what life is like as their significant other when you leave like dirty socks on the floor or something, or don't take the trash out, you know. She can motivate you right away. Now, so the EP, do you guys have like a name picked out for that yet, or is that you waiting to?
That is still in the works, and we won't really drop that until it's closer time to get the EP out.
Okay, but all the rest of the songs have been written and worked on with Robbie?
Yeah.
All right, cool. And then like I said, you guys have some shows scheduled. You're hitting Michigan, Indiana, and coming into Ohio. What has been like I mean, this isn't you're like you guys have, you said you've played Ohio before, you've been out and about, play Indiana quite a bit. Do you have a particular venue that is like been your favorite or area to play at?
The last time we were in Ohio, we played for the Nameless Fest, and it came out of the Vortex, which was pretty cool. Like, you had a bar and then a separate venue room that you could go into. But one of the places that we kind of started seeing growth was the first place that we played with Feast Fam. It's like a fairgrounds building or whatever, but it's huge, and they put all kinds of vendors in there, and they made such like a big deal out of everything. And that was probably one of the fun places, or one of the bigger places that we played for Ohio. But we also did a haunted house in Ohio, which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, what haunted house?
What were they called? Like Haunted Brothers Circus?
Hammer Brothers.
Hammer Brothers Circus, yeah.
Do you remember like where was that located? What part of Ohio?
Between some cornfields.
I want to say it was near Lima, over in the Lima area. Same with the Feast Fam one is over in Wapakoneta.
Yeah, and Vortex is Akron area.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Believe it or not, we've actually played 2 haunted houses.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah. You guys would probably enjoy playing Incarceration out here in Mansfield.
That is one of them that is on the list. Yeah. I've been through there, and it's really cool. Really cool.
Yeah, I mean, even if you go check it out non-festival time, it's quite an experience, the Shawshank prison there.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. We went through like the Blood Prison, which was during the Halloween time frame. And then we were supposed to go back and go through daytime, kind of in our own adventure, but we never got a chance to do it.
Nice. What's like the drive for you guys then? How long does that take from your area to like Mansfield? Is that kind of like trying to think if you guys are like, is that like a straight across thing or?
I feel like Mansfield would probably be about 4 hours.
4 hours for you guys, huh?
Give or take. Yeah. I could be wrong. I'm not actually GPSing it, but I feel like probably about 4 hours.
You're close. For me, 3 hours and 37 minutes.
Ooh, I was a little over.
About 3 for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What-
So we're all
I can make it last 4.
Very true.
Pee
And we're all
breaks and
spread out.
everything.
Right.
What was the trip to Akron like for you guys? How long did that one take?
I think it was roughly about the same time.
Yeah.
We took 2 vehicles to get there, and Richard and I rode together, and then the other gang rode in one truck. And we actually, on the way down, had to do another like radio interview, and we were just fighting connection the whole time. But it was fun. And then on the way back, we had like a game between both the cars, just coming up with different things with our name.
like fault of the, you can replace fault with anything, or fault of the blank. You can play games with that. So anything we could think of, take a picture of it, put it on our Instagram and Facebook story, and see who could come up with the better band name.
Yeah, there was like forehead of the people and feet of the people and all sorts of different names going on.
Nice. I see you guys are going to be playing Michigan Metal Fest.
Absolutely.
And you guys play what, the Friday night, Green Jellies headlining? Are you guys going to make a whole weekend out of it?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah, definitely got to stick around to check out the X Faces.
Yeah, there's a couple other bands that we want to check out too. And then the people that did our music video, Unhinged Studios, they also have a band called Unhealthy While Unhinged, and they're playing the next day. And we're actually going to play a show with them around that time as well.
The day
Nice.
before.
Yep, the day before.
The 13th. August 13th.
Yeah, so, you know, as Joe mentioned, being a Mushroomhead fan, go see Mushroomhead how it was intended with the X Faces. And then,
Yes.
you know, Waylon's band Killer Confession is pretty good too, and Ventana. So those would be some networking to do, you know, swap some shows to get you guys out here to Cleveland.
That'd be cool.
I've been to Cleveland to see Mushroomhead, actually.
Oh yeah? Did you come for the Halloween show?
I think so, yeah. But
Yeah.
I've seen them half a dozen times. So, and at Metal Fest a few years ago, they were the headliners. So they're a good time. They're a good show.
Yeah, definitely. Been friends with those guys since, I mean, we used to go to each other's like kids' baby showers and shit since like the late 90s. And then, so I'm going to go back to like asking everybody a question here. You know, I want to ask some of the questions that I normally ask my guests that I have on, and we'll start with you, Lexi. You kind of mentioned a little bit about like your influences, who you were listening to, but who are your top 3 artists that you're listening to today?
So I still listen to those two. They're pretty high up there. Bring Me the Horizon, Wage War. Who was I just listening to? Oh, Whitechapel is one of my absolute faves. I'm getting heavy into Spite. Yeah.
Nice. How about you, Emily?
Right now, my playlists are all over the place, but I've been trying to listen to more metal just to sync up with these guys a bit more. I would say right now, top 3 on my playlist have been Wage War, Spirit Box, and Beartooth.
Nice. How about you, Stina?
This is so hard because Spotify has spoiled us. Like you just put on the day list and things just go through and you love it and then you just get more of it and there's just so many. So I know Sleep Theory is at the top for me. Um, I can't even think. There's just so many. Wage War again. Architects. I'm like going through my top list right now because it's so hard. Motionless in White. Archers. That's more than three. I don't know. Currents.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's so many.
All right. Richard threw his three up. Who's your three, Richard?
Well, everybody took at least two of them, so I guess I got to change some. It definitely Electric Callboy is one of my top ones. I guess I'll say A Day to Remember, which is up there, and Era. Era has been on my playlist for a long time now.
All right, Joe. How about you?
Currently, Spite, I Am Mook. They're like an underground, growing, very heavy deathcore band. And then I've been kind of thrown back into the Black Dahlia Murder quite a bit here lately.
Nice. And then I like asking this question, and I'm wondering, what kind of different answers I'll get here. But what class do you feel should be mandatory before graduating high school today? We'll start with you again, Lexi.
Social skills. I don't know if that exists.
And what's that?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you. Yeah.
I didn't catch your answer. Sorry.
Oh, social skills.
How about you, Emily?
I know that it's not mandatory in all schools anymore, but I feel like they need to bring back like the home ec and just that. I feel like those just life skills. There's a lot of people who don't have that common sense with like life skills, so I think that needs to be brought back.
Definitely. How about you, Stina?
I feel like it's already a class, and I don't know if it's mandatory, but like personal finances and how to budget and all that fun stuff that nobody wants to do, but you should be doing.
So if we were playing Family Feud right now, you would have got the number one answer because that's the one I get the most out of every time I interview somebody. It's that one. So good job. How about you, Richard?
Man, with the week I've had at work, I want to say social skills too, but I feel like this one isn't really going to be a class, but I feel like they should just let you meet at the bike rack and duke it out. You'll learn social skills through that too.
There you go. Bring that back. What about you, Joe?
I'm with the home ec and shop and stuff like that. I don't think it'd be bad for them to teach, simple things like tire change, air in your tire, check your oil, things like that are just never have been taught. Those are things you learn from parents that want to put the time into you like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, there might be a YouTube tutorial on it, but what do you do when there's no power? We're screwed. Everybody's stuck learning from a screen right now. Get out there, do some hands-on shit, right? And then we'll go back to you, Lexi. 3 people who've inspired you and you can credit for making you the person you are today. And I'm sure you'll get in trouble if you don't say Joe.
Right. I have to say Joe, not just because he's my dad, but because he literally, that was my first inspiration. That was my first hearing metal and all that jazz. So definitely him. You have to I'm going to categorize them together, but we'll do Courtney and Tatiana as the 2 vocalists. And yeah, Whitechapel is one of my favorite bands as well, so I will say that he's probably very inspiring to me as well.
Gotcha. Didn't mean to put you on the spot with your dad and everything too, but I know as a dad, I like to hear that kind of stuff from my daughter. And sounds like he did have a good influence on your life.
Yeah,
What about
he
you,
knows
Emily?
it.
I mean, I'll have to go with Lexi as far as like the family aspect. My mom was a big influence musically and just in life. Same thing as in the life aspect. My grandmas were both huge inspirations for me. Musically though, I would say a different route as these guys. I used to always say that Emily's were built on Shania Twain and No Doubt. And for the better part of my life, I have lived by that, and I kind of still do in some aspects. So I'll stick with that.
Nice. How about you, Stina?
You have tough questions, man. These are tough. My parents would be my biggest influences that shaped me into who I am today. And I have a lot of sisters, but I have one who is a very big inspiration for me. Um, Musically, I didn't grow up with anybody musically that was an inspiration other than the bands that I looked up to growing up. But yeah, definitely family.
How about you, Richard?
Oh man, I thought being this far into it, I would have more ideas. I mean, my family has definitely had a musical background. My grandpa was in the Navy band and kind of pushed me into band in school, which started all of this. A friend I had growing up introduced me to guitar. That's the whole reason I bought a guitar, and kind of showed me how to learn how to play it. And then from there, it was kind of pretty much any rock legend guitarist that you could think of is probably somebody that I could put on the list too.
All right, Joe, how about you?
I mean, I came from a family of musicians, but as far as molding me, my grandfather and my uncles are probably pretty big on the list for an inspiration. But and life tends to happen. It's like a constant crash course in learning. And I've got 3 adult children that pretty much influence who I am today, very much so, because, no matter how old you get, you don't want anyone to ever, you don't want to teach your kids, no matter how old they are, that life has to stop at any certain point. So I just kind of keep trucking and keep going and keep pushing and keep trying to do better and better and better for myself.
Yeah, be a little bit better today than we were yesterday, right?
Yeah.
I get that, man. I know, like, same thing, dude, with I mean, both of my daughters are adults now too, but it's just like I'm constantly learning how to see the world differently, to, take my boomer eyes out, as they say,
Oh, that and you want them to be proud of the person you are today. And
yeah,
a lot of times it requires change. So
yeah, exactly, man. I'm 17 years sober, and like thankfully I got sober when my oldest turned 8. So, and then her sister turned 5. So it's like they didn't, there was times where, yeah, I wasn't even sober. Yeah, I still make mistakes, but it's like you, man. It's like try and become the type of man that, you want them to seek. And the old me wasn't somebody I'd want around my kids,
That's courageous. Good for you, man. That's awesome.
Thank you.
That is awesome. It's hard to do stuff like that. So
yeah. I used to like do concert promotions in Cleveland. So, I'd book shows all the time back in like at the Fantasy or Peabody's. And
I've played Peabody's years ago.
Okay.
Played out there with Nile and Suicide Silence and a bunch of big names.
Nice. Yeah, Peabody's was like a second home to me, but it wasn't like, it was a home that there's a lot of blacked out memories at,
Oh, geez, yeah.
And thankfully, I made the turnaround after my last deployment. It was cool because Peabody's threw like a going away party for me and like 2 on 6 headline. And then when I came back, they did a welcome home party for me, and 216 headlined that too. And
216, that was Jay Mann's thing.
Yeah, that was some of the Mushroom Head guys.
Yeah.
You know, and with J Man singing, yeah. And that was my last blackout. My welcome home party was my last blackout. You know, it was just like I had that revelation on deployment because it was a dry country. You know, I sobered up, I dried up a little bit. I saw some guys go home in a flag draped coffin, and I was like, man, if that's me, like, you know, what legacy am I leaving behind for my girls? You know, and that's where the seed was planted. And I come home and had my last blackout drunk at my welcome home party, you know, and then I pinky swore at my like 8-year-old at the time that I was going to turn things around. And I've kept up on that part, you know,
awesome.
At least not drinking, not,
sure.
We're not always best friends today, you know, but,
nope.
you know, yeah, I love her regardless. And I held up my end of the deal, you know, when not drinking. So, but this ain't my interview. I don't want to hog it. But so going back to better memories of childhood, I'm curious what I'm still, you know, I'm a 53-year-old kid with a collection of toys still, you know, but favorite toy as a child. And we'll start with you, Lexi.
What was my favorite toy? I had this GameCube when I was a young kid, and that was one of my favorite things. I used to play all kinds of Mario games. I remember this one Donkey Kong game where I would literally be throwing barrels at people. But or the reverse where you have to jump over the barrels. Very cool. Yeah, that's probably my favorite.
How about you, Emily? You're muted. You're still muted. Oh, what happened?
Does Emily hear anything?
It says she just lost audio.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll move on. Stina, favorite toy as a child?
So I used to collect McDonald's toys from the Happy Meals, and I would never open them. And so I had a huge collection of them. And when I moved out after I went away to college, my parents got rid of them. And I was so mad because I bet those are worth some money now.
Oh,
90s
yeah.
toys. Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't say those were my favorite toys to play with, but that's what came to mind.
Gotcha. What about you, Richard?
Power Rangers Megazords is my favorite thing of all time.
All right, you, Joe.
Ironically, my favorite toy was some He-Man action figures that I had, and I think between my brother and I, we had the Castle Grayskull together. The irony in that is our debut single dropped the same day as the new He-Man movie. So,
nice.
Ask a question like that. So there's irony there to that.
Yeah, gotcha. And then for people, I will just get ready to wrap it up. For anybody out there, and Lexi took off, so somebody else is going to have to take the lead, I guess. But for anybody, and this is easy, everybody should know this anyway, but for fans out there that might be hearing about you guys for the first time, want to follow you guys, support you, check you out when you come through town, where would you send them?
Send them to faultofthepeople.com, FOTP on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. Did I answer right?
Yeah, correct answer. Good job. You won. That's number one answer. Social media and websites. Yes. Because that's the day and age we live in today. You know, we're not in the back of the scene magazine or whatever. You know, we might still end up there, but yeah. Well, you know, I guess that's about it, man. It was good good talking with you guys, getting to know you. Hopefully, you know, I was thinking about making a trip out there for that Michigan Metal Fest, so maybe I'll get to see you guys live there. But
yeah.
There is a chance to see us sooner if you're interested.
Oh yeah.
July 10th, Apotholic Inc. down in Warren.
Down in Warren. Yeah, that's out by Youngstown, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably a 4-hour haul for us, but we'll be there July 10th with Nameless Entertainment.
And one of the bands that's from Ohio that our first show that we played last year, they played as well. We got introduced, and then we started kind of doing stuff with them too. But they're called King to a Broken Throne, and they'll be at that as well.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'll have to check that out too then. Awesome. Well, hey, it was great talking with you guys. Sorry that Emily doesn't know what we're saying. You guys can send her a chat and let her know.
I do know now. It did kick it back on like maybe a minute ago.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, Emily, so you're not left out. What was your favorite toy as a child?
Oh, that's rough. Probably I had this little toy keyboard about this big, and I don't know, loved that thing. Could play anything. Not really, but I thought I could. And it was fun.
Nice. Awesome. Well, good. Everybody got the answer. Good getting to know the band. Look forward to I'll be hitting up your socials, and when this interview drops, or I'll be sharing it with you guys. But great talking with you all.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you, man.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
All right! Listen up! Hold on to your seats. Grab your girls, grab your beers.
Hey everybody, this is Charlie from Anthrax, and you are listening to today's Boondoggle.
This is Mark Metcalf, and you are listening to today's Boondoggle with Bailey on Domain Cleveland Radio.
You are listening to today's Boondoggle with Bailey on Domain Cleveland Radio. Yes, Kato Kalin listens to this all the time.
Welcome to today's Boondoggle. Now here's your host.
I am Monty Heath, so one Heath, and you are listening to today's Boondoggle.
Hey, what's up? It's John from Skillet, and you are listening to today's Boondoggle on Domain Cleveland Radio.
Fasten your seatbelts.